that supporters was against a small minority group who are barracking players, and they are all over Scotland, not only at Tannadice. And as far as that's concerned, it was completely unsuccessful because none of these people turned up. But to me, it was a great success, in as much as it showed that the people I was speaking to, there was a closer communication and a wee bit more, they've got a wee bit more idea on exactly what my thinking is in team selections and so on.
Now, have you altered any of your own attitudes at all as a result of what the fans said to you last night?
No, in no way. The discussions last night were just exactly what goes on in every pub. The only difference was it was going on with the manager of the football club that these people support. And I think that's an important thing. I'm only the same as anybody else. The only thing is that I'm the manager of the Dundee United, and it was vital that I can get to the people who don't always agree with the team selections that I do make, and some of them are very controversial because a lot of the time it's their favourites that's getting left out. But at the end of the day, when I get the sack, it will be because that I've not been good enough in choosing the right teams at the right time.
But are you going to follow last night's experiment up by having a regular talk-in of this sort with the fans at Tannadice?
Well, the regular talking, as far as I'm concerned, that we would like to repeat more than any is the one a few weeks ago when we had an opportunity for all the members of the new Supporters Association to meet all the players and myself. And that, to me, was far of greater importance to the benefit of Dundee United. That most certainly will be repeated in the very near future.
One of the complaints I hear supporters make about the club is the lack of information they get about the policy, about tactics, about injuries to players, about progress of young players, about possible transfers and things of this sort. Now, why don't you perhaps issue a free newsletter for fans at regular intervals throughout the season?
As far as Dundee United is concerned, anything that's going to cost Dundee United more money per week than it's costing us at the moment will most certainly not be tried. We know that this could be very beneficial to the club, but to me it would only speed up the transfer of the most important commodity in Dundee United, and that is the exceptional players on the park.
And yet you say on the other hand, Mr. McLean, that it's important to keep the fans in touch to make them feel a greater part of this club.
Yes, I feel that that's important, and I'm now prepared to make myself available at any time for people to contact me and come along and have a blather with me on any subject at all. But I don't think that's costing the club any money because they're paying me for that time. And I'm here at the club every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday night anyway. And in afternoons I'm not just as busy with the players as we most certainly would be unavailable completely in the mornings.
Do you think on reflection, Mr. McLean, that you've become a little bit too emotional on this question of barracking?
Me personally, I would agree, because I think that what I'm trying to get is, when I became manager here at Dundee United, I thought that we could rear a young team and get terrific support. That is just not on because the press situation at Dundee, the unemployed. But I now realise that whatever we're going to get, whether it be 5, 6, 7,000, every one of these people that come on the terrace is vitally important to me, and we want the same thing. We want a successful Dundee United, and I know that we'll be more successful with every one of them behind us. It's impossible, it definitely won't happen, but if I can convince 1 or 2 or 20 or 30, then most certainly I've done my job.
And you did that last night?
Well, I don't know whether we convinced them, but we most certainly had a great discussion.
What do you think of Jim McLean's criticism of the fans who go up to the games and barrack the players?
Well, he's right enough. They're not patient enough.
Against Airdrie, he got 4,700 fans the week after winning the League Cup. He's got a grievance there, but I don't think he's got a grievance that he supporters, because they're quite entitled to complain like everybody else.
Even the barrackers?
Well, they pay their money, so they're quite entitled to barrack.
They're just talking for talking's sake and shouting for shouting's sake, and they're not helping the club, they're destroying the support of the club. That's what I would say about it.
Do you think that Jim McLean has any hope at all, though, of educating them?
Well, it's a very difficult job educating boys that doesn't conduct themselves in a proper manner any place.
To me, I think he's right enough in some of these things. My opinion is that Dundee United Sports for years has never had success, and now they're getting success and they want more. They just don't understand it.
That report from Ron.